I am going to move over to this. I'm going to play this in the background, Larry. Just the video will be going, but I'm going to follow the script because I didn't have any time to make the clips. So this is a story from ABC Channel 6 in Philadelphia. And, like I said, I plan to play the video, but I'll just read part of the transcript. And it says, "We reported on a month ago, and tonight I spoke with the attorney who represents the man who was accused of attempted rape and kidnapping in this grocery store parking lot. That attorney tells me that the woman's story never added up and that an update in the case is better late than never. 41-year-old Daniel Pearson is home with his family tonight, out of jail after the Bucks County DA says he was wrongly accused of attempted rape and kidnapping. This is the woman who accused him of those crimes, 20-year-old Angela Aramovich. Police in Middletown Township said Aramovich called them on the night of April 16th, claiming a man grabbed her in the parking lot of the Redners off Lincoln Highway and attempted to pull her pants down while he carried her and pulled her back toward his truck. Aramovich said she was able to break free and that he drove away. Police used a license plate reader system that spotted a similar truck nearby. They tracked it to Pearson, and he was held at the Bucks County Correctional Facility on $1 million of bail. This is terrible if he had, I guess it would have been terrible if he'd actually done it, but that's not what happened.
Yes, a new complaint now states that Daniel Pearson was charged with multiple felony offenses and remained incarcerated for a total of 31 days before, how do you pronounce that?
Aramovich.
Aramovich admitted to her lies. The police and DA deserve credit for continuing their investigation. Normally, when they put a person in cuffs, it's so easy just to say, we got it. And, victims of sexual assault, any type of sexual offense, they don't lie. They don't create stories. If they say it, we don't need any further investigation. We don't need, because we're just re-victimizing them, Andy. I don't know why you can't understand that. But anyway, the police in that part of the country and the DA deserve credit for continuing an investigation, because otherwise this man would be still sitting in jail and possibly facing a long term of incarceration.
The complainant states that shortly after his arrest, officials received information from Pearson's family that warranted further investigation, so detectives reviewed surveillance video and found at no point in the video did Pearson's truck travel through any part of the path Aramovich claimed the vehicle took. Aramovich was also called to the DA's office for questioning last Thursday, and because of more inconsistencies in her story, she was called back in on Friday. That's when the complainant states Aramovich admitted that she had lied about the entire incident and that no assault occurred. This is disgusting. Why would a person do such a thing?
I get that question all the time when I'm lobbying. People say, well, Larry, why would people make false accusations? And I said, well, there's a whole litany of reasons. They could do it because they don't like a person. They could do it in custody battles. They want to discredit their spouse for custody reasons. They can just do it for outright meanness. So I don't have any way to explain why this woman, this 20-year-old, did that. But in her own words, she stated that, quote, she had seen Pearson in his truck before in the parking lot of her old job, and he was quite creepy.
Creepy?
Now, yes, creepy. Now, that doesn't seem like enough of a reason to accuse someone falsely. There's never enough reason, but a person looking creepy, if we went around making up criminal accusations on people that look creepy, they would be, that's all we'd be doing. All charges against Pearson have been dropped, and now Aramovich is facing charges herself. She's currently in jail and due back in court sometime later this month. Can you finally admit that this is funny?
No, this is anything but funny. How long did he spend? 31 days in the lockup? That's not funny.
Well, it's funny that she's in jail now, isn't it?
I guess that would be karma, but anyway, what do you think will likely happen to her?
Yeah, making false police reports is generally a criminal offense in most states, either felony or misdemeanor, in this case including Pennsylvania, which under 18 PA Constitutional Statute Section 4906 makes it a misdemeanor to submit a false police report or complaint subject to fines and jail time. How long will she stay? Probably not long. A misdemeanor just, doesn't do it.
Doesn't that even maximum of a year?
Well, misdemeanors are different. Some are up to 6 months, some up to a year. But let's just say that this is 6 months tops, and she gets half time, 3 months.
And then we have moving over to, we have another similar story that comes out of Colorado where a woman made false accusations. She was sentenced to serve 4 years in prison. Now, is that appropriate punishment? Look, in my mind, if you have then falsely accused somebody and they spent 31 days in the lockup and 4 years, I don't know that that's enough time. Come on, man.
Well, it's hard for me to say, but let me tell a little bit about this. We are not going to spend a lot of time on it, but what happened was that this is in Colorado, in a suburb of Denver. I don't remember the particular suburb, but the mayor and a city councilor had gotten in a public dispute about policy, which is quite common, where you'll have and I misspoke, it's the police chief and the city councilor, not the mayor. The police chief and a city councilor had a disagreement about public policy direction, and the city councilor chose to criticize the police chief. And this woman who worked for protective services in Colorado, for child protective services, she says, well, I'll just cook his little goose. And she submitted a false report about the police chief, and it did not go well for her, and she was sentenced to incarceration for that false police report. 4 years is an awful long time. I would have to know what if any of her criminal history was like, and what type of diversion options might have been appropriate. But I'm not for extremely harsh sentencing. But on the other hand, we need to send out some deterrence of making or causing false police reports to be made and causing someone to be subject to this type of. It's awful to be arrested. Can you imagine the guy in Pennsylvania? What did everybody think about him when he was in jail? He was in danger of being killed. He probably lost his job. He lost all of his friends because they thought he was a rapist. They showed his picture of his truck and everything on TV, and turned out that it was all made up. How does he get justice? How does he get redemption? How does he fix his life? He's got an arrest history. What is the opportunity for expungement in Pennsylvania? And even if he gets an expungement, the FBI never expunges anything. So it's always lurking beneath the surface there for criminal justice agencies to say, oh, if he were to have a minor arrest, say moves around the country to Idaho and he gets arrested for something, the first thing the pretrial services is going to do when they run the background, oh, well, you're arrested in Pennsylvania in 2024 for rape and attempted kidnapping or whatever. Well, those were dismissed. Oh, but you were arrested for it. I mean, that affects bail decisions, does it not, Chance?
Oh, it does. And that's why it's so important that if there is a factual innocence aspect of any statute within that state, that you take advantage of that, because otherwise it's going to be exactly as you say.
So I've sat in what we call felony first appearances. I've sat through those many times in our professional career here. I've sat through those. And when they call a case to set conditions of release for a person who's been arrested, the pretrial services have done a background report, and all that is read by the prosecutor for the judge. And the judge looks and listens to those previous arrests, any no-shows in court, any failures to appear, and determining what kind of conditions can be fashioned. And if this man has this sexual arrest on his record and it cannot be removed, it's going to be potentially a problem for him down the road. And there needs to be some kind of way that this woman is held accountable for that. It's not funny at all.
Not funny. You said, oh, I think it's funny. It's not funny.
Well, her being in jail is funny.
Not for her either. She could die there as well. And I don't think that what she did is deserving of the death penalty.
Well, he could have died a lot easier than she could have for the type of allegations she put on him. He was much more in danger than she is.
I won't disagree with you, but that doesn't mean that there's not a riot that goes out and all of a sudden that you end up with a shank in your gut.
So, Not funny. All right. Not funny.
Yeah.
You've been listening to F, Y P.